And we are live! Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Australian Survivor recap episode. I'm your host, Lee. With me today is my usual host, Susan, and our guest host today, Jessica. How are you both doing?
Great.
Good. Ready to gossip about this past week of 3 whole episodes.
Right. Before we get into the episodes, Jessica, since it's your first time here, how are you finding the season so far?
I'm finding the season interesting. I've watched every season of Australian Survivor since season 2. I don't know if that's what they call it. The way back when Lee and Christy were.
The official season.
The first, but second, I don't know what they called it. But I've watched every season since, and I love it. So I'm just ready to talk about it some more. So.
Okay. Quick question. What were your quick thoughts about the last tribal with a big player such as Shannon going home?
I thought Shannon going home was a surprise, but not a surprise. I thought it was interesting because in U.S. Survivor, when two tribes normally come together like that, they can vote for anyone. But the fact that they had to vote for somebody on their own tribe, at first I thought, what was the point of them being there if they just voted somebody out from their own tribe? But then when the 4 people who won immunity got to vote for someone, I was like, oh shit, like that's a huge power. And I thought it was interesting that Simon spoke up to Emmett and said, oh, you should get rid of Shannon because X, Y, and Z. And so I thought that was pretty interesting, and good on Haley for still having her idol. So
good on Haley, her public idol. If only others took notes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that. So hold on one sec.
That's what we talked about last week is was it too much power that they've been having for this season? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the powers feel big brothery. Only 4 people's vote really leaving half of a tribe. As Lee mentioned, it sounds like the friendship bracelet all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about that. My parents have horrible timing.
It's okay.
It comes with the job.
Yeah. If you want a professional, maybe watch Rob Has a Podcast. So we start off the episode with Simon shockingly gloating, and even more shocking, excusing himself of gloating over the dethroning of Queen Shannon, to where Haley kind of goes off and saying this was a stupid move on their part. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with Haley in thinking it was a very poor decision to get rid of Shannon, or was it a good choice for Simon to turn on the Brawn?
For Simon's own personal game, I think it was a good choice because they didn't mesh well together to start with. But in the larger case as a whole, no, I think keeping her would have been better.
Yeah, and I think it depends on who do you think like getting rid of Shannon benefits. Does it benefit the Brains tribe, the 4 remaining Brains tribe? Absolutely. Does it benefit the Brawn Strong? Probably not. But for Simon, I think it was his best choice.
Yeah, if it was a choice between Shannon, who he knew would vote him off, over Chelsea, who eventually voted him off, I think he was screwed either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're already planning for the obvious Flick boot, but Haley plans on being like, no, maybe I'll keep Flick. Obvious boot, we get through that talk. We go over to the Brains tribe, where Laura's still there. She got voted off, but got saved. It appears like these Brains people just won't die. I mean, we have George with his multiple production idols. We have Cara with her fake tribals. We have Laura who just won't go home. We have idol plays. We have sick days. Maybe they should just vote for Brawn or something.
Yes, the sick days. So Jessica, she went away.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my brain farted again. For the 12th episode, the double tribal, somebody was missing and they went away, and they were told they could not vote for this person because they were sick. How do you feel about that? Because in U.S. Survivor, they still show up to tribal, and if you don't, that you're just medevac.
Yeah.
Do you like this?
I think that it's weird. I think that it's weird that they can leave for 24 hours without getting voted for. I don't really know, because it's like if you're at the hospital, how you expect somebody to show up for tribal.
How many times are they allowed to do that? I mean, could that be the next play? I'm just going to be sick every time we go to tribal, guys.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what it deems medically necessary. Like if they feel like they're not, if the medical team feels like they're not able to sit through a tribal, then I mean they have their own rules, so I mean they can do what they want. But
we have seen in the past like players like be sick and then ask themselves to leave. Like Moana in Contenders versus Champions, she was sick and said, just vote me off. Like maybe she could have gone for 24 hours. That season could have been different. It's like, when did this rule get added?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it there for convenience? Like, did they know, like, maybe we know George is not going home, so it's okay if she's gone for like 24 hours.
Well, maybe it was all the confusion Kara caused. Production got confused.
Kara's confusion.
God, I just can't. Can I just say that when I was asked to be on today and we were talking about Kara, and I thought to myself, how does that even happen when your best ally came up with the plan himself? How? I don't get it. You were right there when he said the plan. I was suspecting somebody like Kez to fuck up the plan. Like how do you mess it up? I don't get it. And then I knew something was happening when she goes, I'm super confused. Like I don't get it.
Just the classic Kara iconic moment. Laura's still here. We see that on the new Brains tribe, it's being controlled by the 3 Brawn people, being Emmett, Kez, and Gerald. That's his name, right? I've been calling him Garrett for who knows how long. I think I finally got his name.
We talked about him last week. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah. And of course, we have the 3 women, Rachel, Laura, and Georgia, if she's alive, on the bottom, with Kara and George in the middle, but also on the bottom. It's like they can easily flip, but they can easily be voted off as well. So, and we're still wondering where Georgia is. She could be dead for all we know. Karis uses her empathic powers to see that Laura and Ket, also known as Eyes, to see that Laura and Kez are bonding. Should Kara be worried about this?
If I was Kara, no. But
I don't think she still knows she's on Survivor, so I would say nah. She should just keep going the way she's going because it's working for her.
Yeah, keep voting off the wrong people and using idols to idol yourself out. Perfect strategy. And we see that people are still upset over the big D vote that Kara fucked up. Like, Kez is still upset. I'm sure, like, the other Brawns are upset, but we just hear more from Kezer. Should they just get over? Should they still be upset after, like, this many times? Or should they just be like, it's done, get over it?
Well, first, I don't understand why she would tell them how she messed up. Like, that theory itself didn't make any sense to me, but I don't know, like, you see everybody like, oh, so sad he left. Like, wouldn't that as a player be like, oh shit, maybe that's a good thing? You see all these people sad. So who do you think they would have voted for in the end?
I put my notes here. Kara speaks out of the challenge, not sure why. And then I put still talking about Kara's mess up. two rounds after. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think we've learned from this season that not a lot of these people know what the show is about.
They don't have brains.
Exactly. I also think I read somewhere, like, I think at the first tribal, somebody asked what happens if it's a tie, and they asked, what is a rock draw?
Oh my.
Like, and I think it was at the Bronze first tribal, and only Simon and Shannon knew, and apparently everyone else was like, huh? Rock what? Like, what, tie? Does something happen?
What does tie mean?
Yeah, what is a tie?
But maybe that's because sometimes you see these people that do know what everything is and knows how it works, and they come in and overplay because they're just so excited about it. Maybe ignorance is bliss.
I mean, half these people probably have a lack of knowledge and are still in the show, whereas we got our fan favorites who knew what the show was, and they're already gone. We still miss you. Okay. we get to the reward challenge, and it's a classic challenge that we sometimes see where 3 tribe mates hold up a bar and the other tribe piles on weight. Whoever lasts the longest wins. And then we have holding the weight. We have Kez, Emmett, and Gerald, the 3 bronze on the Brain tribe, obviously. Simon, Chelsea, and Baden. Baden's the only brain competing in this challenge.
Good on you.
And we see 2 different strategies. We see the Brawn spreading the weight between the 3, while we see the Brains trying to pick them off one by one, starting with their weakest, which is Chelsea. Sexist. So.
And to me, being an MMA fighter, and I thought she'd be stronger than that personally, but I mean, I don't know how you're an MMA fighter, not that strong, but
she also did mess up on the actual wrestling portion challenge.
Yeah.
What she had to do was take him down, get the bag.
Yeah.
I mean,
pick
up that girl. So I'm gonna go with that. I would like to watch one of her wrestling matches just to see her particular style, because I haven't seen her perform it.
And to be honest, I thought Danny didn't hold the weight. That's just me. Maybe they thought, I don't know. But
Chelsea, MMA fighter who lost a wrestling match to whatever Healy's job is. Okay, Chelsea struggles. She's the first out. Then Baden is out. Then Kezer is out. Then Gerald drops, and it's a classic between Emmett and Simon, and everybody eye rolls because, oh wow. To where Simon drops, Emmett wins, and Kara gets her first reward win. Yay!
Yay for Kara.
Yay. I forgot what they won, but I think it was some sort of barbecue type thing.
Taco bar with margaritas.
Yeah. We see George completely down a margarita. He clearly knows how to party, and not just the political kind.
Mm-hmm.
And during this, Georgia returns. She's still alive.
Conveniently returned for the reward.
Yeah. I did nothing the past 24 hours, and now there's food for me. So, what were your thoughts on Georgia coming back?
I'm still with, I don't think she should have been allowed. I think she should have been allowed to vote for at the previous tribal. Again, the 24 hours, I don't know what was wrong with her, but it just seems really unfair.
I read something on somebody's Facebook that she posted, or Instagram or something, and she posted about it when she came back, that she was actually 6 weeks pregnant and had a fallopian tube rupture from an ectopic pregnancy. That's what I read.
See, that would have involved pulling her from the game.
So, but that's what I read. I don't know. I don't know how that got past medical, but
yeah, because that's a lot of infection and stuff to be leery of. I would have think that they would have pulled her.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if either of you watched the challenge. There was a girl on a season recently where she was pregnant during the season and she didn't know till after the season.
Mm.
So there is a chance that she could, and she got very drained out. She made it all the way to the final. She managed to beat a girl in wrestling while pregnant, so it says a lot about her. So it definitely could have been that, and it could have been that serious, and it could easily be missed by medical if she's that early with pregnancy. Because I'm not one that can talk about pregnancy, but I think it's usually a while. I think maybe you two know more knowledge about this.
Yeah, I'm going to go with both options. I'm privy to, and the fallopian tube, that's some bed rest, and that's a lot of pain you're in, and a lot of antibiotics you're going to have to be on. I'm going to say being out I'm not saying like Australia is dirty, but like you still have to watch your intake of eating. You can't get a fever. Like, I'm just going to go with it. There's no way she'd have came back from that. I mean, maybe some women, maybe it's like, oh, it's just 24 hours here. Then, okay. I mean, some women do that, leave the hospital after 12 hours. I'm a little bougie and dramatic. I was in the hospital for 5 days.
See, I like that she came. I think I'm glad that she was okay enough to come back. I'm glad that nothing she was very seriously injured or whatever. But I think that the US, I think isn't it, you can go away if you can come back to tribal, then you're okay. I feel
usually it's you have to come back to tribal, because I can't think of which season and they just went straight to jury that person. Like when we came to trial that night, that person was already walking in all fixed up and on jury. I mean, I remember US being mad because a player gotten antibiotics for like a cut they'd gotten that got infected, and people were like, "Oh no, he's been giving drugs. That's not fair." I mean, I didn't know antibiotics were enhancing drugs, but okay.
Yeah, who knew antibiotics could help you survive?
So and I wonder if it would have been different had Georgia's team won. Like if people were to think different, like had that team won, would it have been okay for her to leave and come back?
Well, I think most of them they went to tribal, so there was a
you are right.
winner on each tribe.
Yeah. It was more an individual challenge, so
yeah. I think she should have been allowed to be voted for. That's my only thing, because you never know. Shannon could still be here giving Simon a run for his money. He would have maybe played an idol, but we'll get to that.
Maybe. She returns, clear, obviously feeling better, and is ready to play the game. Where were you the past insert number of days here? You had to wait till you're in a minority to start playing the game.
And that's another thing. They bring her back during the reward, and she wasn't there for tribal. They pulled her after that competition they did. I mean, do they do that much in 24 hours in Australian Survivor? Because to me, that just seems like a wildly long time frame that she was missing for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it seemed about right. Maybe this season isn't being rigged for George. Maybe it was rigged for Georgia this whole time, and we've all been getting it wrong.
Oh, no.
No. Like a lot of people voting, we forgot the A. Okay. We get all that. Immunity challenge. Since we see nothing from the Brawns, we pretty much know, okay, so Brains are going to tribal.
Mm-hmm.
Really fix your editing, Australian Survivor. Make it less obvious. Okay, immunity challenge. Push a slide, roll bags, smash target. Emmett does all the work for his tribe, but the Brawn tribe wins. Well done. And Brains lose again, are going to tribal.
And here's where his fancy pictures come in.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't
once
wait.
Once we get to the tribal phase, we're now in the pre-tribal phase where Emmett is extremely confident in his alliance and picks to target Georgia because she showed resilience of coming back from being sick.
Can I go back to the challenge really quick, because I made a comment of myself when they did the tunnel toss? Why did Laura and Rachel toss those bags? What? I don't.
Equality?
I saw them doing it. I was like, why? Of all the people, why you? I don't get it. Like, why not Kez? She's agile. I can't.
Just let Emmett do all the work.
I can't. I just let him do it.
They were more focused on that Emmett was the superstar, so nobody thought what they were doing mattered. I think they just kind of were like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like, we'll let Emmett rest for a bit. We'll try throwing.
Yeah.
Okay, we suck. Emmett, come on, do your job. And Emmett continues his leadership job, pushing the vote for George to go, and is confident in his group of 5 and wants to say Brawn strong, even though eliminating a Brawn last tribal. But we see Georgia go up to Emmett in hopes to make something happen, and we get to see why she's a psychologist. Was Georgia making good statements with like saying like her alliance is more stable than, I was about to say Josh and Cara, Jesus, George and Cara. Now, taking your biases aside, and if you were in the game, would you listen to Georgia and be like, yeah, let's go with your 6 and get rid of the unstable people, or be like, nah, let's stick with the crazy people?
I'm going to always go stick with the crazy people.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
More targets out there, you never really know. I don't know. The stable people just unfocused.
And it depends, because the crazy people are the reason you're there. So, I mean, they could, if they really wanted to vote you off, they would have done it already. So,
or accidentally do it.
Yeah, or accidentally do it.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought we were voting for Emmett. Wait, why? You mean we're not voting Emmett? I thought so. We actually are voting Georgia. I'll write down Kez just because it's simpler to spell. Yeah, I know how to spell Kez, and it's too many letters. Is it one N? Is
You
it two
broke
T?
the code. Maybe that's the problem. She's just going with what pops in her brain. I can spell it.
Yeah, I know how to spell Kez. Does E become before the O in Georgia? Ugh. Maybe that's why she keeps writing down Laura's name every tribal. It's like it's easy to spell.
It's her mom's name. No.
Yeah. And Emmett upfront tells them it's a great speech, but I'm gonna stick with the two lunatics because they're easier to get rid of. Was this wise of Emmett to tell them like, thanks for the speech, but no, or should he been like, yeah, like pretend to go along with it?
For this season's theme, I'm going to say it was cool that he was just like, no, I don't want the alliance, just because everything that's been going on. It's been a wild season, but no, normally I would just be like, oh, yeah, sure. I mean, why would you want to cause more? I mean, if you tell her no, she's going to go look for somebody else. If you tell her yes, maybe she'll be content and just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after the Emmett plan failed, we see the three bottom girls complain about men running the show, which is common that we see in Survivor. And they decide that maybe Kez would be the person to bring in since she's still pissed off about the big depot and still try to target Kara. Do you guys think the men are kind of like dictating what's happening, mainly Emmett? Since we don't hear from Gerald at all?
Yeah, it's not men, it's just man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else they could do except for get Kez or Kara and George, but I don't know. What are you gonna do?
This is something that I'm always something I'm always confused of with a minority. Why would somebody that's in a majority risk going to rocks? That's something I never really understand. So it's like, why are you just trying Kez? Like, why not try like Kez and Gerald, or maybe try George and Kara, even though you want them gone?
Mm-hmm. Like, because in this instance, Kez has no. I don't know why Kez is even entertaining the idea, unless she's not thinking about numbers. Because you're not giving them majority. You're just giving them rock draw.
Yeah.
At most, and then you put yourself at the bottom. And Kez talks about alliance and friendship and trust. Well, you're about to break your alliance, friendship, and trust with Emmett if you go to the other side. And so I don't. If she had somebody else, maybe, but with just her, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So we get to tribal, and basically the girls are basically calling Emmett a dictator. They're telling Kez, like, Kez, make your own decision. They're really pointing out like what each Brawn member is saying, like the hypocrisy of them being like, why do you keep saying let's be strong and you're keeping the weak? And they're telling Kez like, you're just doing what you're told. Emmett's like telling you what to do. Like they're even pointing out what like he's saying, like, interesting how he's saying like that's what my plan was. Was this like good of them to say, like kind of pointing out these little minute details that people might not notice?
Yes and no. I mean, again, it's all like when Shannon went to Simon and was like, this is my plan and who I went out. I mean, you don't really know if who you're talking to is there to go over your game plan with you or express it, or if they're just want to hear what you want to do so they can go back and tell said other person, oh, though this person said they wanted to do you. So it's hit or miss. I think you've got to watch it. I mean, I don't know why Shannon would want to work with Simon. You know, I think she got herself voted out going to him and saying things, but I mean, I guess you don't know until you try it. Again, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah. And I don't know if Laura and Rachel saying that Kara and George are weak. Have they looked in the mirror? I mean, they're not really contributing any more than they are, in my opinion. So, like, I don't see them any more in challenges than the other two. So I just don't understand.
And I also hate it that they're like, you know, oh, you're weak or strong based off your competition skills. When competition skills, and at the end they're like, oh, so what, you won, your social is bad. I think that George is so strong at being social and strategic. Although he's annoying people, he's still in the damn game, regardless of the idols he played, having the friendship bracelet thing. He's still there. So I would consider him one of the stronger players, even though physically he's not strong.
Yeah. Strong means different things to different people.
I think when they were saying that, they kept thinking like physically strong. And I was saying that, like, Laura, I get why you're saying this. Rachel, weren't you the reason they lost a few challenges? Yeah. It's like, it's definitely catch-22 if I'm using that saying right.
Yeah, definitely.
So everyone gets up, and we see that Georgia is the one that gets sent home.
Ooh, graphics.
Yeah. I have Photoshop. I know what I'm doing.
I love it.
Yeah. So we see the 3 girls vote for Kara, and we see that the main 5 vote for Georgia. Kez decided not to flip on her alliance and risk going to Rocks. And that is the end of Georgia, who surprisingly was not a Sam. Chancellors and Contenders 2 Sam.
A week, like, she could have went last round. It would have made this round so much more interesting, I think. I mean, it just feels like a waste that she skipped all last try. But even though it was dramatic and stuff happened, but she was just next to go anyways.
Yeah. And we see why there's so many buttons on this thing.
I know.
And Georgia, she's voted off, and she joins the 5-3 club. I have no idea if that's easy to read. So, what were y'all's thoughts of Georgia throughout the season?
I didn't really expect her to go far. She didn't strike me as someone that was like, oh, she's going to be this great, amazing player.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I'm mad that I wasted time thinking about a lot of these people when the people I thought would make jury are gone. I'm still not over Phil leaving.
Yes, Phil deserves so much better.
Well, blame George. He saves Georgia that first tribal.
I just can't.
Yeah.
But my thought is, even if Georgia were to be in that tribal, the double tribal, she would be in Laura's position, and I think Shannon still would have gone. In my opinion, I think it's the same argument. It to me anyway.
Yeah, Shannon would have gone regardless who was in the other position. So whether it was Laura, Georgia, or Rachel, it still would have been Shannon.
Yeah.
I was looking at the 5-3 list vote.
Yeah, we see some random Aussie players that people might not remember. Who remembers Ben from Chancellor's Contender? Not Chancellor's Contenders.
Is it Benji?
No, Ben from Jericho season.
I don't remember him. I do remember E.T.
Yeah, he was a football player. And Jenna Louise is from the first season, which Susan, I'm pretty sure you still haven't seen yet.
No, that's the one I still haven't seen. Like I said, I really didn't get into Survivor a couple years. 2017, we went to visit Jessica and Craig, and they got us into Australian Survivor, and then we had to watch it ever since.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, the first season's accessible on YouTube. And we have a long list of the American season because they're too much.
Yeah.
And I don't know if either of you guys watch College Survivor, so...
Some of it, yeah. Because it's in Maryland.
Yeah, I try to. Or I try to do the recap of it.
Yeah, I like the college ones. Maryland, it's great, but it has some not great seasons and not great winners. So that's episode 10 over and done with. We're now on to episode 11, where we hear Gerald snoring or roaring or eating something or devouring. We see that George apparently stole Mitch's shoes, which were very expensive. And he says that all of his enemies are gone. He managed to get rid of all the people that were against him, even though he had nothing to do with any of their vote-offs. The Mitch vote, he didn't even vote off Mitch. The Joey vote, that was Haley's move. The Georgia vote, that's because Emmett told you to vote her.
Well, we did say it's a wild season of delusion and confusion. So
Delusion and confusion.
Delusion.
he's gonna have one
Convince
of those fake
yourself.
fluff resumes that we talked about. I was just saying to Lee that I don't like in Survivor or Big Brother how they use the term I'm gonna do this for my resume. Like, A, it's not a job, and B, who doesn't fluff their resume? Like, that doesn't matter what's on there. Like, you could win nothing and still fluff it up. So I hate when everybody's like, build my resume, build my resume. I think we need to find a different term for that.
Yeah.
I think a good example of fluffing your resume, which Susan you haven't seen, the 2016 Australian winner, where they did not do a lot of much, but to the jury, they really fluffed up their resume and got
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I just hate that. Like, there has to be a better saying or quote. So we'll get everybody, if somebody can get on something that we can use that makes more sense.
Yeah. Plus, we've all seen a lot of Survivor. We've seen that the best person doesn't always win, like the best game player. It all depends on jury management, social game, and all that jazz.
Yeah, as a U.S. Survivor watcher, I will agree to that. Half of those winners do not deserve to be winners.
Yeah. We love you, Natalie White, but we're happy you defeated probably one of the most hated people in all of Survivor. But you didn't do that much your season. You're nice, though. We see that Rachel has an emotional moment. She's missing everyone, and it only took 11 episodes to finally get her intro moment.
Yes.
And immediately I'm thinking, oh, so Rachel's going home.
Same. I literally put at the top, edit, Rachel's home video, definitely going home.
Yeah, but they didn't do that with the other episode because we had talked about that last week. We had thought Joey wasn't leaving. Was it that round? Somebody?
Yeah, during the episode 4, 5, and 6.
Hasn't even gotten an intro video.
Yeah, Danny is the only person so far voted off that has not gotten their intro video. And I was saying before that when I saw Joey and George's intro videos, I was like, oh, so they're going home. When really Joey became a big game player and Georgia did not go home.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the edit would be different, but yes, this round was obvious Rachel was leaving.
Yeah, these 3 groups of episodes, I would say, out of the ones we've seen, have been the most predictable in just the way editing has been. So let's hope the next 3 are a lot more exciting. We see that we're over on the Brawn tribe. Oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. I read that one. We're over on the Brawn tribe, and we see that the women are kind of running it. They're like doing all the work. They're making the fire, catching the fish, get other things that usually men do in Survivor, but they're doing it instead. How do you guys, as 2 females that I'm assuming identify as female, how's this seeing like all this women empowerment on a Brawn tribe?
I love it. I say that US doesn't really give a lot of the female, like, if there is a powerful female, they more portray her as bossy or bitchy. I think that Australian Survivor edits it in such a way that it's not giving, oh, well, she's just a bossy bitch attitude. I love it. I'm all about the girl power. I mean, I wasn't mad that some of the girls went home, but I was hoping they could last longer. But I love it. But again, I'm not that strong either. I don't know if I could do everything they were doing. I would attempt to, but I think it's great. I like it. Usually,
at least in my experience, women don't usually like me in games. And so it's nice to see like all I would want from a game is to like hang out with the girls, like even just making bracelets. Like how fun is that? Like just like the camaraderie that the girls have on that tribe.
Here, like in they equal out the men and women. When you play the live Survivor games, I think the last one I was in, so there was 14 people, but only me, Rachel, Lee, only 4 females. So, I mean, it's really hard to get that female interaction because, I mean, what are the chances that one of the 4 of you will have something in common due to age or just different things? I met Jessica at a live game, but we didn't play together. She was just there helping. We can't go off of that.
It's okay.
As somebody who plays a lot of online games that is usually male dominated, and there's usually, you'd be lucky in the cast if you get one girl, let alone two. So it's definitely nice seeing on the actual show, like, women
working together.
Yeah, it's not just like a bunch of bitches hating each other. We all remember Vanuatu and how that failed.
Oh my God. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's just, I don't think they personalize it enough. But I think we've had that with every season. There's good females working together. Contenders versus champion, they worked well together. Every season I've seen the women be more open versus, I mean, there are some that aren't, but I do like the females that they cast.
Yeah. We support female empowerment, support women, and all that jazz.
What's her name? The yogurt stand owning lady. She's my favorite. The Godfather.
Janine. The Godmother.
So bad with names.
Love her.
Yeah, she's great. I wish she came back in All Stars. We needed more girls other than Daisy.
Oh, Daisy. Love her.
Love you, but I would have liked to see others. Just like when I was watching Champions vs. Contenders 2. Like, let me know what other contender girls there are other than Daisy. Okay, we see Simon apparently has an ego. Did not notice. I don't know if any of you noticed throughout the season.
Nope.
Apparently he has one.
Nope.
And it needs to be fed like usual men. And we hear that... Yeah. And Haley wants him gone. I can't think of a reason why she would want him gone. Like, I don't know how Simon's threatening. It's just that he's good in every challenges, has 2 idols, and apparently has a tight alliance. Don't get her thinking. And she goes to Danny with this grand plan to blindside Simon. When I first saw this, I was like, ooh, she's going to shoot herself in the foot. Danny is going to be stupidly loyal to Simon no matter what. But turns out that Danny has this whole grand secret plan to get rid of Simon, apparently calling herself the Sandra Bullock, to base off the movie The Blind Side. Now, first off, have either of you seen that film?
Yes.
I
have not. Is it good?
I think it's a good
one. The title isn't really what she's going for, even though the title is Blind Side. Like, not really about a blind side.
No. It's a great film, though. Based on a true story. But
yeah, I was watching. Well, I'd never seen the film, and when Danny said it, I was like, I don't see that for you. Maybe for Haley, but no. You seem like that kind of player that says like, "Oh, I'm making all these moves behind the scenes," when really, it's not moves. It's just you kind of happen to agree with somebody else who thought of the plan first.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Oh, Kirk says hi to you.
Hey, Kirk.
I have no idea how long the comment's been there.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I just had towels in there.
So after we hear this grand plan to get rid of Simon, we see Haley wander off, and we get love letters to everyone. Let the tears begin. And everyone reads their letter. We get a main moment from Haley, obviously, and we also get a main moment from Baden, which is a little bit of a shock because he has been a little behind on the edit side. It's nice. What did you think of the moments that we saw?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not an emotional person. When they do the love letters and they want to draw these tears, I get why they're doing it. There's a whole emotional thing, but I'm not really a fan of it. When they all start crying, I'm like, oh my God, boo-hoo. I'm sure it would be me. I've cried when my daughter's been gone overnight. Oh, I miss my baby. It's just, I don't know. It's not a thing I'm a fan of.
And I'm the exact opposite. As soon as I saw the letters, I'm bawling my eyes out, and I'm just like,
my boyfriend's like that. Oh, he'll see the letters from home and he's just crying. I'm like, come on.
I'm already bawling.
Can we fast forward this? I only start crying when it's like the loved one visit. Like letters don't really get me, but actual seeing it does. The main thing I was thinking when I was watching this is, why are they holding it over water? What if a gust of wind comes and just like blows it into the little lake that they have?
Oops.
I'm assuming they switch it out. Like maybe that's not actually it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the fake ones, and then when they get it, they cut the cameras and then they attach the real. That's what I'm assuming that happens. That they're not really playing with the real thing. That it's just the illusion.
Yeah, that was the main thing. I was like, ooh.
I mean, imagine that going terribly wrong. How do you edit it? Oops, we're sorry.
It's just Baden sitting there talking about his daughters.
Writing letters and stuff.
Baden sitting there talking about his daughters, and he accidentally drops the letter into like the lake that he was next to. And it's like, oh no, be careful. We then get the same moment from the Brawn tribe. Not really, not the Brawn, the Brain. I wish they came up with actual survivor names.
Same.
Yeah, we don't really see that much. We just like get a moment from Emmett and Rachel, but they weren't really that big. So
yeah,
kind of wish we saw a bit more from them. Like, let's hear more of their backstories rather than just kind of.
Do you think that maybe they make it for? Well, no, we know Rachel doesn't. Maybe Emmett makes it a little bit further. Maybe they're holding a lot of that. I don't know, because some people still haven't gotten a lot that were voted out. So I still don't know.
And George's letter made me cry. I immediately bawled when I heard. I was like, it was bad. It was.
I wasn't paying attention that much. I think his letter was like about a dog.
It was about his dog.
Yeah. Animals always make people cry. Yeah. Forget about like actual loved people's family, friends. It's the dog.
Then you might have me crying. Send me a picture of my little beagle babies, and I might be here.
There's a reason why more people cry in films at the death of a pet over the death of a person.
Yeah. Homeward bound.
Take care of your animals. After we get these emotional moments, we see that Emmett is considering throwing a challenge to make sure that either Rachel or Laura goes. Now, I'm always someone I think throwing a challenge is a complete waste, and why would you do that? What are your thoughts on challenge throwing, and is it good?
I can't stand it. I don't know why. For me, I'm a big competitor. Like, it hurts. Even just playing the silly online games, people are like, oh, we should throw this. And I'm like, but why? I want to win.
Yeah.
Plus, it always can backfire. Like, why would you want to put yourself in that situation? And how egotistical are you that you're like, I'm just that good, it ain't going to be me? Because I don't want to put myself in the chance of being voted out. And he doesn't have anything to prevent that from happening. So,
Right.
Yeah. Other than that, I think Emmett's definitely shown throughout the season that he's definitely arrogant is one way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to the challenge, we see that he's just standing and smiling. Like, he's actually just standing there laughing to himself, and apparently no one noticed.
They're trying so hard, bless them.
Yeah.
They just...
So, shocker to everyone, the Brawn tribe wins. Jesus Christ. Oh no, the doorbell rang and it's absolutely terrifying. One day it'll give me a heart attack. And we get to the... I would say, what were your thoughts on the community, but what were your thoughts on Emmett throwing?
I don't like it. I mean, it's a tribe thing. Like, if it gets down to individual and you want to put your own game in danger, by all means do that. But you're risking, like, if I found that out later and I was a juror and you're telling me I risked all your chances of going home, like, that would disable me right there. Like, I just...
Yeah. I don't get it either. It just shows that he's that confident in his 3-5 person alliance, whatever you call it.
We've also seen that on American Survivor. Was it Mike? They threw the challenge so one of their original wouldn't go home after the swap, and everybody loved that idea. So, and it's one of those catch-22s, at least.
Yeah, one I remember Survivor China when PG, Jamie, and Eric threw the challenge to vote off either Aaron or James after the swap. And that was a case that people are like, oh, that's a smart idea. Like, get rid of 2 original Fei Long and go into the merge 5-5.
Mm-hmm.
As long as James didn't have 2 idols or something.
Which will bring us up soon.
Foreshadowing. So we hit the pre-tribal stage. They're saying like we're going to split on Laura and Rachel. But the majority is going to be on Rachel. And then Rachel's like, I'm no longer going to play with emotions. I'm going to play with pure strategy. And she goes to her greatest enemy, George, and talks to him about blindsiding Emmett. And George is like, this is perfect because I put myself in the swing situation where I can vote for whoever. Thanks.
Yes. Love George.
To where I rolled me like, you're just going to vote off Rachel.
Yeah.
It's like, I think this episode is like the most predictable episode of the season, which, to be fair, is an improvement from past.
Mm-hmm.
And well, what did you guys think of? Like, did you think that George would actually flip on his 5 and vote for Emmett, or would he pull a Cara and just vote for Laura?
I like that he voted the way he did. For me, I said I wasn't really a Rachel fan. I know he called Rachel weak when he had saved the 6 that he did at the tribal, and half of them weren't even appreciative. They were mad about it. Like, if you save me from being first boot, you can call me whatever you want. Weak, dumb, idiot. I don't care. I'm not going to make a big deal. You just saved me from being the first boot. And for her, she was like, well, I'm better than that. I don't know. I didn't like her attitude for this season.
Yeah. I for a second thought he was going to vote for Emmett. I don't know why he would, but for a split second, I thought he was. But when the votes came out, I was like, thank God he has a brain, and decided not to.
He was on the Brains tribe.
Exactly. And good for
Because I think Rachel would have screwed him over the first chance she got.
Oh, yeah.
I think she would have been loyal to him at all.
Yeah.
I think she would have been loyal for like a tribal. And then just
depending, been like, I mean, because it would probably then been between him and her. So then she's just going to go throw him under the bus more.
And see, if he did go against Emmett, then Kez and Gerald would go back to their Brawn. I think he'd have a harder time on the other side of it versus if he just went with the numbers, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see the votes, and we see that... Oops, wrong one.
What?
I have way too many of these windows open with similar names. Oh. We see that Rachel got voted off in the split plan went. We see the 3 guys voted for Rachel, the 3 girls voted for Laura, and the 2 bottom girls vote for Emmett. Once again, Cara refuses to write down any other name other than Laura, because every tribal she's been to, she either wrote Laura or Georgia. Nobody else, just those 2.
She likes the 8 ending names.
Yeah. So, and it was a vote that I like. It's where 3 people get votes, and it was a penultimate vote. That's where like somebody goes home without the majority. So, like if it was 3, which is not a majority in the tribe of 7.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
Rachel, and then Rachel joins the 322 club. Yay! What were y'all's thoughts on Rachel throughout her season?
Again, like, she didn't bother me, but that first episode, the second episode, those 2 kind of set the tone to who I was gonna like or dislike, I think. And her just being so ungrateful about George, she just left a bad taste.
To be honest, I forgot who she was until a couple tribals ago. I think it was like episode 4 or 5. I'm like, who's the old lady? I was confused, and then I was like, oh, her name's Rachel.
Yeah. Similar to Georgia.
Was a 322 vote.
Who? Oh yeah, Christian.
I'm looking at. I love your little charts that you have. It makes me.
Yeah. Some forgettable names, some big names, some college names. Rachel's
all color coordinated for everybody out there watching.
Yeah, just in case you don't know, blue is US, red is Australian. If you see a turquoise color, it's South African, and then all the others are fan-based ones. My thoughts on Rachel, similar to Georgia, she made it further than I expected her given the first few episodes. She definitely got a lot more airtime around the swap era. That's when like her confessionals all of a sudden increased. Like I think one episode, the double tribal episode, she had like 10 confessionals, which is like the most people can get. So I was pleasantly surprised with like that. She was nice, like showing that older women don't always go home within the first 3 episodes. So that's good.
Always a good thing.
That's another thing as well. Good on Rachel for lasting as far as she did. And then we get to episode 12, the big one. Still predictable, but still big. Where we see Laura, the lone bottom girl. She lost all of her allies. She's surrounded by a majority of 5. And she wanders off. George follows her. And George is like, now's the time to make a move. We can get rid of one of them now. Like, you, me, like, brains stick together. And Laura's like, okay, I still don't trust you. Is it too late for George to be thinking about this? Should he have done it last tribal, where it was possible to, like, get rid of a Brawn, where here, even if he and Kara do flip, it just be a tie, and it's with Laura, who has not worked with them at all in the past?
I don't think it would have worked last round getting rid of Emmett, and he would have put himself in a worse position. I think not voting for Emmett like the others did, even if he flips this round, Emmett isn't going to be thinking, oh, we'll flip to George because George didn't vote him last round.
All right.
So I think
Although
he's going to try it.
We do hear from Emmett saying, he said this last episode, we'll get rid of Rachel, and then when Laura's left, we're going to use her to vote off the other 2.
He doesn't need them, though.
Yeah, exactly. He does. Well, he'd probably need her just for this one vote.
Yeah.
It's like to make it a 4-2.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I kept thinking George should have flipped, because it's like, he's just going to flip on you. But then I have to remember, George is not seeing the confessionals. He doesn't know better. Don't blame him for everything.
Out? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. Why can't the Alpha Men just leave? Foreshadowing. Next we go to the Brawn tribe, where Simon reflects on stuff. I don't think it was that important. I think he just reflected on like how great he was in challenges.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Way to not to brag about stuff. But then he makes something that I always tell people is a mistake. He told people not only about his first idol, he told his main 2 about his second idol. Dumb. I would ask, was this a mistake? But I think we all knew the answer the second the words left his mouth.
Dumb.
Yeah, he gave that. I mean, he's already a powerful player. And the one idol I could see, but now you have 2 idols and you're powerful. Like,
dumb.
I don't know why he would do that and then go to tribal. I don't care how good they were feeding him a story, but play one of them.
Yeah.
It won't last forever.
Yeah. I don't even think they were feeding him a good story. I just think he's just dumb.
Delusional. He's that delusional.
Delusion and confusion.
Yeah. I really wish I knew how to like put on that gif with like Jinx Monsoon being like, delusion, convince yourself. It's like, that perfume is very popular in reality television. No wonder she's rich. And then we hear a confessional from Danny being like, 1 idol I can handle, 2 idols you got to go. And it looks like she's actually might do something for a change. Woo!
I love how they're editing Simon as like this big player and how Danny and Chelsea are closest to him, but you get no Danny and Chelsea confessionals. Like they're like non-existent. Yeah. I like don't see them at all.
Yeah, I've said this. I think Survivor just hates people named Chelsea.
There you go.
Because we all know Ghost Island Chelsea, who nobody can remember.
Nope.
The least edited player in all of US Survivor. Even more than Purple Kelly.
Just edited. I mean, I see, obviously the pun confessionals, the I'm crazy confessionals. I mean, maybe these people are just coming in and just not giving what they think people would want to watch. I mean, you know, oh, hey, I think I'm going to do this vote. Not sure, but this is who I'm with. I mean, maybe they just view it as not as exciting, but I would still like to see those confessionals, exciting or not.
Yeah.
I'd like to just see one from Chelsea being like, was she also considering flipping? Because we got nothing from her. Like, we got nothing from her side. Like, was she agreeing with Danny, being like, yeah, Simon's this big threat? Or was she like, Danny, this is way too early. Simon's our ally.
Yeah.
A friend of mine did a confessional chart. He posted in our Discord. Shout out Bayback. He's also from Australia. And I saw that Chelsea, we knew Chelsea had like barely any confessionals. She only has 3. Same with Andrew, only 3.
Somebody posted it on Reddit.
Yeah, it's like Chelsea and Andrew only have 3 confessionals in these 12 episodes. And Gerald, who was, I don't know if you guys think, like, he pre-swap, decently edited, post-swap, no confessionals.
Yeah.
Like, we got nothing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, like, Survivor editors, throw in the random odd one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure Chelsea's emotional. She probably had something in the family letter confessional.
Like, even if it seems out of place, put it anyway, because we'll look for it.
Yeah, like, just put in the most random stuff. It could literally be them talking about how much they hate the heat.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of confessionals about that.
I love how they put the degrees under what day it is. That's the best.
Day 24, 69 degrees. People be dead.
I love it.
And we get to the reward challenge. It's basically row a boat and throw rings. George does not know how to row a boat properly. I grew up in a rowing family, so that irked me personally. It's like, and that's why he has to leave. We see Brawn's in the lead, but apparently the wind and current blow them away, and Brains catch up, ending up winning the reward. So, great comeback story. Yeah, we get another Simon versus Emmett. Those got tired very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, we won't have to worry about them ever again. And we got an interesting reward where we got a classic reward, but you can only go one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen this reward in the past, and there's usually an advantage. I think there's always been an advantage. And George, obviously, Advantage King George, plans on going there, making sure Laura doesn't get one. They make it fair and draw sticks. George gets one of the longest, and apparently it's the order goes shortest first and longest last. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it normally the other way around? Like,
usually,
longest stick?
Yeah, the longest stick, but usually they're all the same length, and whoever draws either the longest or the shortest, they go, and then you just keep doing it again. I didn't really get the whole...
I think it's just to determine a proper order very quickly.
Yeah, usually it's just you have it all the same order, and then it's one, but...
Yeah.
They're all confused anyway, so let them make up.
And of course it's Cara being like, no, shortest goes first, I'm first. And then Laura's second. So Cara gets in there. It's a giant candy shop, which I'm sure we all dreamed of that. Like, who doesn't love just going into a sweet shop and just like, you have the whole lot.
Yes.
Free for all.
Yeah. So Cara goes in and she sees like there's a piece of paper in one of the sweet cylinders, which I actually thought was kind of funny, but really obvious to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe they should have blended in, like, if they had, like, an orange cylinder, it probably would have blended in more.
Yeah.
So, Cara finds it. I'm pretty sure everyone's thinking, oh, she just found an idol. She's going to play for George and get herself voted off again. But no. She found a visitation ticket. Now, I've seen this in a fan Survivor, but this is the first time we're seeing it in a proper one, where she can send 2 people to the other tribe, to another tribe's tribal, where they can vote for someone, but they cannot receive votes themselves. What did y'all think of this advantage?
I loved it. I wish they would have gotten to go to the camp, like beforehand,
interact.
to like know who, but that would have been the only Because then if they go to tribal, it's like you have to rely on someone to tell you what to do.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I wish they would have had more time to get to know the camp before casting a vote or sending the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like this twist. I saw it in a Minecraft Survivor, and it went very well, and it was super funny to watch.
This in Realfoot, right, Jessica? That was the season of Realfoot. They did that. The winning tribe voted somebody to go to the losing tribe, and they got to cast a vote, but they had to leave before the votes were read.
Yeah.
This was also a twist in a college Survivor I've been recapping. Shout out to Scotty Survivor, but unfortunately, the person with advantage immediately got voted off. So you hate to see it. And then we just see more people shoving sweets down their throats and smearing chocolate all over their bodies.
I'm shocked there wasn't more idol or twists or advantages, to be honest, with Australian Survivor. And I'm shocked they kept it as nice and as tidy as they did until Kez got there. If it was me, I'd be tearing that place apart. Because you're eating rice off the ground, stuff up. You're telling me you're not going to eat candy off the ground. Like, we're going to eat candy off the ground. And George putting his hand in the chocolate, I wish the advantage would have been in the chocolate, to be honest. The white chocolate.
That seems like a great place to hide a little idol, but I guess it would have made it dirty.
Who cares? They would have played it anyway.
This is a small thing that I just thought of when you mentioned you're surprised with only how small the advantage. I wish each sweet cylinder had a different advantage or disadvantage, and it's you can pick one, and one would be you lose a vote, or you get a phone call from home.
I'm shocked nobody caught on to the fact that Laura had something.
Cara.
You walk Tara, you walk up there and you see one tube open, but the rest are not touched.
You're probably so hungry at that point. You're just delusional.
Yeah.
Delusion. New name for the season: Survivor Delusion, starring Jinx Monsoon.
Yeah.
So I was now I'm a weird person with food, so when they started smearing on their skin, I was like, ooh. I've heard of chocolate facials, but no.
Yeah, I think I'm weird with food too. If I wasn't one of the first 2 or 3 in, I don't know, being the last person in, how much I could have actually
it.
Yeah. Maybe if I was starving, like you said, I'd be eating off the floor, but usually I'd just be I don't want to touch anything. People's hands have been in them. I don't know where they've been.
But me and Susan can attest to at least the 7 days with no food. Could you imagine 22 days or however long we've been there without proper food?
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. I'm I don't know how to do it, because after 7 days I was dying, and I'm nope, I ain't doing that shit again.
Yeah, you'd be eating it off the floor.
Wait, did you guys not eat for 7 days? And
they give you rice like they do on the show, or beans, but you literally only get so much rice. And at Kirk's game at Coco Paley, 2 days before the game ended, we ran out of rice.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
It really is. We were eating apples out of an apple tree that we're pretty sure had worms in them.
Oh no. Thanks for letting me know. Never
7 days. I mean, it's amazing what you would do. But yeah, I guess at that 22-day mark, I may lick the sidewalk for food.
Oh god, I would not survive. And then
it's not it goes so fast. Live games obviously can't last the whole month like the real show. So you're doing 4 rounds a day. You don't even have time to think. And when it's nighttime, you're just I'm going to sleep. It's not on the real show. I don't know how they do it. There's that whole gap, especially in USA Survivor, where it's hey, here's your challenge. And then 2 days later, here's your other challenge. And then 2 days later, okay, tribal. You know what I'm saying? There's just too much of a widespread.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore with is it 29, 28 days now?
This one I think is going to be shorter. Yeah, I think I read 28 days.
Yeah, so these are going to be very quick tribals, very quick episodes. So we hear the Brawn tribes. We hear that Danny is now firm on wanting Simon gone with his 2 idols, and now she talks to Haley about throwing the challenge. Another throwing challenge talk. Boo. What was this in comparisons to Emmett's Wait, wow. Brawn is the one talking about throwing challenges of all things.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you guys think of this throwing challenge talk?
That's dangerous. He's got 2 idols. He doesn't even got to get wind that it might be him, and he could just play one. I mean, obviously it was a success, and I don't really understand how, but I don't know. You're playing with 2 idols, and one of you can accidentally go home. I don't know if I could have done it.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
No way.
I always just say never throw challenges. It never works out.
Yeah.
Although for these 2 times it seems to happen, but wait till one of them gets screwed over in the future.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see if your target didn't have 2 idols, but no. I don't even.
Yeah, because as we saw, it could have easily been Danny going home.
Mm-hmm.
Had one gust of wind just went into Simon's empty head and being like, play the idol.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
We
are
see
they
the
going to put those 2 idols back into the game?
I hope so.
I think that I hope they only do one, because one was a tribe idol, the other was a given idol.
Yeah.
So we get to the immunity challenge. It's those team balancing things on a weird like stair cylinder crown thing, and apparently you didn't need it. Wasn't for all the way up. It was like for only 6 of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the rest of them were there. Simon sits out of a challenge, although this isn't really a challenge suit for him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brain wins. Brain wins challenge, and Brawn goes to tribal. Again, kind of predictable. I would ask what were your thoughts on this challenge, but I skipped throughout most of it because it was very long and not a lot was happening.
I think it may have been production or the people who practiced the challenge tried it and all 12 were too hard, because if you notice, each person had 2 balls next to them. So why were there 2 balls next to them if they're only doing 6? And I thought it was weird that the shorter end was on this side, but the person coming from the opposite side had to come through the apparatus to put it on the other side. Well, I don't know why they made them do that when the person closest to the shortest could have just put it, I don't know, to make it more challenging, I guess. But
maybe
that's why they only did 6, because it might have been too hard to do all 12. Or maybe it took too long.
Stick to blocks. Stick to just blocks on a center spelling immunity.
Yeah.
So right before the challenge ends, Kara reveals her visitation ticket advantage and says that she's sending her and George to the tribal council. Even when winning, they have to go to tribal.
I like how she asked the tribe, is it okay if I take George? Like, no, just say I'm taking George. Like,
I kind of wish somebody would be like, no, take me.
Yeah. Like, no.
Well, she would have just picked George and been like, well, I got confused.
Like, oh, wait, I thought you guys said not Georgia? Oh, wait, she's gone. So we get back to Brawn. Apparently, George and Kara are staying at their original Brains camp and not joining them. We see that this group of 7 Alliance that voted off Shannon is like, okay, now let's just get rid of Flick. And then Simon's all like, okay, easy, Flick. We'll all just do 7-1 Flick. Clearly. Oh, God. He definitely did not belong on a Brains tribe. Let's just say that.
No.
So he tells Chelsea, go and follow Flick. And then Chelsea's literally telling Flick, yeah, I just have to follow you to make it look like, yeah, okay, let's start running. And that would have been a perfect point to see a confessional from Chelsea being like, I have to follow Flick, but really, it's like, haha, we're working to get you out.
Right.
And then, so with Kara and George coming to tribal, it is making like the Brains people nervous, being like, ooh, what if they fuck it up? Because those 2 are very well known for fucking up tribal councils. We're still mourning over Phil and Big D.
Phil deserves way better.
Yeah. Danny's just confirming with Haley, being like, yeah, still with you. We're going to put all on Simon. If he plays an idol, then just Flick goes home and it doesn't matter. To where Haley's like, I don't want Flick to leave. So she starts planning to throw votes on Danny.
Smart.
And she tells, and then Baden goes, hey, since I'm close with George and Kara and I'm the only one that actually they trust, I'll tell them to vote for Simon. And then we get to the tribal. Everyone plays out their act. Flick is like, yeah, I'm going home. Try to find an idol. Simon kept chasing me. I kind of wish Flick, while they were chasing, would be like, hey, since we're like alone together, do you want to do something? That probably would have like put like more nails in the coffin. Like, Simon's definitely not going home if I'm like trying to make a move with him. What did you guys think of like this whole like Simon just chasing Flick and just putting nails into his own coffin?
I thought it was funny. I didn't understand why he had to follow her around, but
I guess it's just to make sure she doesn't find an idol.
Gotcha.
I think though it was kind of too obvious. Like, even though she was like, "Oh, he was chasing me around. I was looking for this idol. I'm going home." I don't feel like the emotion strength was like there. Like, what do you do when you know you're going home? You start fighting, throwing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just think that Flick could have made it a little bit more believable, or would it have been too believable? And then Simon would have played I don't know. It just seemed just like you were watching one of those bad TV shows where everybody's a bad actor and you're like, oh my God, end it already.
You mean Big Brother?
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's a different show. That's a much worse show. So we get to tribal. George and Kara come in. Everyone's pretty much saying, yeah, you guys are here, but your votes don't matter. And then you have Baden like whispering in like, or do they?
Stupid. Why would you say anything like that? And I think Baden's smart, and I don't know if he did it on purpose, or I don't know if production tells them where to sit, or if he was smart and saw the 2 chairs here and then sat right next to them. I don't know if that was on purpose or if production tells them where to sit, but smart on him to sit close to them.
Yeah, I think they choose where they sit.
Right. Yeah, because it's smart on him. And then when Simon said, "What are you guys talking about?" It's like, what do you think they're talking about? Like,
I think I missed that part.
The clues were all there. The signs were right in his face. Yeah. And so what if he wasted an item? You've got one more to fall back on.
Exactly. You literally needed somebody, you needed James walking in being like, play your idol. Like, you know how like the ring girls are like walking around in bikinis, like round 1. Somebody just needs to do that with Simon and be like, play your idol.
Well, see, now Simon belongs to a very special elite club.
Yeah.
I can see if like the people didn't come in and he only had one idol, maybe not playing it. But as soon as I knew 2 extra people were coming and I had 2 idols, I'm playing it regardless.
Oh, yeah, and that's another thing, too. You don't know where they're going, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know, like, that's 2 extra Brain members. You don't think they're going to take advantage of that?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like we said, we see why he was not on Brains. So, we get to the vote. Everyone's given their confessional. I'm going to say I loved Haley's. It's like, thanks for doing all the legwork. Now it's time for me to take the reins.
That was good.
And, yeah. Haley is definitely I don't know if Haley's getting like an obvious winner edit or a decoy winner edit, but it's some sort of edit, and we're enjoying it. And we see that the plan works. Simon goes home. Danny gets the 3rd most votes. Flick gets a vote. And Simon goes home. Now, I said this earlier to Susan, and I don't know if you were thinking this, Jessica. I don't know. Were you, like, waiting for something to happen, being like, turns out this was a fake tribal. Like, you're going to exile. Or something like that. I was waiting for it.
And I'm also confused on why Wade didn't vote for Danny. Maybe because they think they didn't need to. I don't know. Yeah. Or unless she knew that they were voting for Simon and she just wanted to go along with it. And when Kara and George asked who the split vote was, when Baden said to vote for Simon, and she's like, who's the split? I wonder if it would have been smart for Baden to say it's me, so that way they know to vote for Simon for sure. Or I wonder if that would have like backfired on him somehow.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know. I feel like Baden would have been too scared to be like, okay, the other vote is Danny. They would have been like, we're just going to vote for Danny then, and like kind of fuck it up, which is what I originally thought was happening. I was like, oh, are those two going to vote for Danny and fuck up this whole plan?
Mhm.
But if they did, it wouldn't have mattered because I think Simon still would have had the majority.
Mhm.
He becomes the first Aussie Survivor player ever to leave with 2 idols. We kind of jinxed that last recap, being like, oh, he's going to pull a James.
We did last recap. We ended with, oh, watch Simon pull a James, and
Yeah.
we are fortune tellers.
Yeah. We are officially psychic, hire us. And Simon now joins the very small 6-1 club. 631 club.
I just can't.
Yeah. If you're wondering why there's a question mark next to Candace, it's because not all of us were revealed in that weird beginning twist. It was like, all right, you guys have known each other for 15 seconds. Vote somebody off.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why there's a question mark.
Oh, Tarzan. Ugh, love him.
Yeah, and that's when he gave Tessa the idol.
Mm.
Which I'm happy he did because I liked Tessa more.
I love Tarzan. He's so nice.
Yeah. Well, what were y'all's thoughts of Simon throughout the season?
I for sure thought he was going to make it far. Obviously, he's egotistical. You know, your typical alpha male. It's all me. I'm so strong. I carry everybody. But not like... I know he's not the brightest person, but how do you go home with 2 idols when you have 2 people that weren't on your original tribe voting? When people are just like, oh, yeah, I'm getting voted off and I'm okay with it. Like, the light bulb didn't click. Like, was he just that vain looking in the mirror that he didn't see? Like, I really want to know what was going through his mind. Like, how cool do you think you are?
See, I didn't like him at first, and then I liked him towards right before when they swapped. And then I started to not like Emmett as much, and I started to like Simon more because we saw less of him. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, he's tolerable. And then it's like, I don't understand how stupid you can be here. It doesn't make any sense. I just can't.
I really thought Simon was going to be like a David of the season.
Where
it's like, oh, we're getting
David and got Simon.
Yeah. It's like that meme where it's like, it's a new one. It's like my ideal plan and then like my default plan. I mean, and David was voted off with an idol, just not 2.
Yeah, not 2. Like, how 2? I can't.
Okay, I think now I haven't seen. No, I'm trying to think of like all the survivors
voted out. Let's say it was one of those Survivor Australian rounds where they're like, it's a fake tribal. Does he keep his 2 idols?
I don't think so.
Like,
because like he was technically voted off.
But if it's a fake tribal, technically you're not.
Yeah, probably because.
I was just wondering, has that happened before? Like, has somebody been voted off and it wasn't a real vote off and they kept the power?
No. The only times I can think of that happening is like the Edge of Extinction stuff, where it's like they bought an idol, but they didn't win the comeback competition, but they still kept the idol. Like I know Natalie bought an idol at the first like comeback challenge, and she still had it when she came back in at Final 5. So that's the only case I can think of.
But she wasn't. Well, I don't know. Voted out, I guess.
She wasn't voted out with an idol. She got an idol after she was voted off.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that was earned at that for those particular reasons. That's what I'm saying. You earn it in the game, and then you're voted out, because that's a loose term nowadays. Being voted out. I mean, do you get to keep that? Like, let's say it was a fake round. Does Simon get to come back and be like, "Aha! I have 2 idols."
Still got my 2 idols.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of.
I mean, not. I mean, they voted you out, but if it's a fake tribal, then it's not. They're just fake votes.
Yeah. There's voted out, and then there's eliminated.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's. I mean, that would be my question as to if he had came back. I don't know if that's happened before.
I don't know.
You know, there's a lot of these fake ones in Australian Survivor, but I can't recall if somebody
too much
power. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember if somebody ever had a power. And then
no, I think out of all the fake tribals, I don't think anybody had a power. And hopefully it never happens.
Well, let's see. I would like some clarification on that to add to my be sick at every tribal. Because once you earn the 2 idols, just hope that that's the fake round. Get voted out. Go chill for a while.
Go chill the extinction, come
With
back
2
and get a
idols
third
and
idol.
a possible sickness, you can really clear yourself for up to 4 tribals.
Pull a Georgia and a Simon. So Simon, Jesus Christ, I can't speak English. Simon now joins James and Kelly in being voted off with 2 idols. I can't think of anybody else that has. I think those are the only 3.
I believe so.
Yeah. So before we end the recap, I have one extra thing that I'd like you two to help me with. So what I did was I made a ranking sheet of everyone voted off in the same placement, and I ranked them based on their gameplay, how screwed they were, their potential, just like overall stuff. I've already done the first 8, as you can see, because that would have been a lot of people to do right now. You're noticing that there's no names in any of the red ones because that's the first season, and to not spoil Susan, I just left them blank.
Oh, it would have been fine. I probably would have forgot their names by the time I got to it.
So I would like us to discuss where we would rank Rachel, Georgia, and Simon in comparison to the people that share their placements in seasons past. This idea was influenced, inspired, and stolen from the Keep Your Torch Lit podcast. So we'll start off in elimination order with Georgia, who was voted off 9th. Fellow 9th place people, as you can see, was Matt Rogers in All Stars, the 2016 person, which Jessica, I don't know if you remember, Andrew.
Yep.
Hannah in Champs vs. Contenders 2. Tegan, no wait, not Tegan. I can't even read my. Kent in the 2017 season, and then finishing we have Paige from Champs vs. Contenders 1. Now, where would you guys rank Georgia in these people?
Gosh, I'm trying to even remember them.
So wait, I'm looking what it says 16th then?
Yes, 16th place. 9th place does not have a lot of like big contenders.
I don't remember any of them.
I remember Casey? Paige?
Oh, no, the one above Casey.
I remember Paige, maybe? I'm so bad with names. That's my only downfall when people are like, I'm like, the one girl from the season and she did that thing.
Yeah. Not a lot of 9th place memorable. I would personally put her 2nd, not because she was that good, is because I think everybody else was that bad.
Yeah.
Well, did any of them get a free pass on Tribal for being sick?
No.
If not, then I'm going to go with she has to be in last.
Yeah, so with
good.
Yeah. So Paige was barely seen throughout the season, so she's definitely better than Paige. Kent, when he was voted off, he did nothing. He literally sat there and was like waiting for people to talk to him, knowing he was on the bottom. Hannah was also not well edited, but it took an idol and a revote to get her out, and it was a crazy vote. And Andrew, while he was pretty much useless in challenges, he did have power, but it was people flipping on him that got him out. And I ranked Georgia above him because Georgia kind of got swap screwed. Because Georgia could have lasted longer had she been on a better tribe swap.
Right.
So that's why I would think she. And then Matt had a lot of power, and obviously with idols and stuff. So that's why he's the top ranking. So would you guys rank them there?
Like I said, I'm so bad with names, but again, I'm not happy that Georgia got a free pass. But I don't know if it's a bitterness, like, man, wow, she got a free pass. Hey, good for her. Or if it's like, hey, not fair for everybody else. I mean, maybe it was explained to me before, but why are the seasons off? Like, why do people refer to this season as season 6 or season 8?
So there was an original first season in 2002, and then after that, 4 years later, the season 2 was a celebrity season. And then I think the 2016 season was like a reboot of the season.
Right.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it's also referred as 1 and 3.
Gotcha.
Because it's 1 in this new reboot season, but it's 3 in like Australian columns.
Okay.
So I would put her like before Paige, but after all those other people that I can't think of.
Really, that low?
Yeah, because I don't remember her until the swap, so I don't remember any of them. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading of the next two names even too. Like, I remember AK.
Oh, I would not even rank Rachel anywhere close to the caliber that those people are.
Really?
Not even close.
For Rachel. Now, Rachel, I think I put her in between either Jackie and Phoebe or Phoebe and Casey.
Oh, right. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, between
Phoebe and Casey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this list confused me just slightly because it's a little off. I'm just trying to figure out. So going from left to right, is it the seasons?
So the seasons are color coded as you see over here. And then you actually can't see the numbers. So it's like first people, like these ones are like the best out of their category. And then these ones are like the worst.
Got it.
As you can see,
I see the color coding, I'm like, oh, I got you. I got what he did now. Because I'm like, wait a minute. Were they on the same season, this one row? And I'm like, no.
No. As you can see, I put Phil first because we can all agree he was the most screwed out of all the first boots.
Oh, he really was. No, I'm going to go with Shane was. I loved her so much. I'm so mad that she was first boot.
I'll just put Rachel in here.
So are we putting them most liked on the left and least liked on the right? Is that how it goes?
It's kind of like potential how screwed they were. Could they have gone further? Their overall gameplay.
Jackie's is Jackie the one that was with Dave? Or is that a different Jackie?
No, that's different Jackie. This was Poker Jackie. She was on Chancellors and Contenders 1.
Okay, I remember Poker Jackie now. I'm like, I gotta look up what she looks like. Okay, we're good.
I am
blonde.
Too.
Okay, you said you put Georgia second last. I said I put Georgia second. I say that we compromise and put her right in the middle between Kent and Hannah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a slight problem with this 15th list then. For Jackie being above Phoebe in what universe?
Now, remember, this is All Stars Phoebe.
Right.
And I saw All Stars Phoebe make so many mistakes. Like how she got herself voted off in the Lydia vote off with the whole trying to get rid of Moana. Like telling David everything. And with Jack.
Who's the red?
The red is Craig.
Oh, yep. Okay.
And with Jackie, I rank her higher because she was I wouldn't say swap screwed, but she made like less mistakes than Phoebe. Because it took people flipping on Jackie to get rid of her, and her vote off was more like big and powerful. Of Phoebe's was like it was just a split vote, if you get what I mean.
Gotcha.
So that's why I rank her above Phoebe, just because Phoebe made way too many mistakes. And then we have the Simon in the 14th place, where the blank space is Phoebe in her first season.
Okay.
Followed by AK in his first season. Oh wait, no, it's followed by Flick. Oh god. Oh yeah, it's followed by Flick and All Stars. Matt in Champs vs Contenders 2. That was like the teacher wrestler guy. Followed by Tegan in Champions vs Contenders 1. She's the girl who was sent to exile and then came back and then almost got voted off again and then the save send. And then finished off with Ben, who nobody remembers. Who y'all don't remember.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So I think with Simon, I would again rank him second only because I think the others were worse.
I agree.
Simon was that bad. I mean, egotistical.
He was voted off with 2 idols.
Yeah.
Who's the red again?
Phoebe in her first season.
I would put between Phoebe and Flick. And now, if it was Flick her first season, I would put them after Flick. But
no, this is Flick in our All-Star seasons where where she was definitely barely shown.
Yeah.
Susan, what about you? Do you think Simon comes out before Flick in her All-Star season, or should he be lower?
Going off gameplay and stuff, I think he should be ranked high. But like you said, he went home with 2 idols, so I think he should lose more points. Yeah. Like, you went home with 2 idols and the signs were there. You went home with 2 idols knowing there was 2 extra votes. You went home with 2 idols where the person you voted for was just like, yeah, I'm the vote tonight. Like, what?
Yeah.
So in between Flick and Matt?
I might have to say in between Matt and Tegan.
Ooh, that low.
Only because the signs were there. Like, how oblivious that he couldn't read a room or knows. I mean, he watches Survivor Logic 101. You told everybody what you had. You have to. Why not just play it?
I have a question, though. Well, actually, It's more of a Craig question. Is Simon's move to get voted out with 2 idols actually brilliant? Because then it guarantees his spot in All-Stars.
Oh, yeah, that was another question I meant to ask you guys. Was this the right move for Danny and Chelsea to flip on him?
I mean, do people do that? You would think if he wanted a shot at All-Stars, like, you went home with 2 idols. I don't think you're an All-Star. I think you're an idiot.
Yeah, same.
I mean, look at the All-Stars cast, and you kind of see some of them already.
Merge is coming up. So, I mean, if you knew Merge was coming up, is your shot now? Yes. If you didn't know your Merge was coming up quick, is it good to get rid of Simon? Probably not. But I don't know.
I don't think it was an all-star move that they blindsided him more so with 2 idols. I think it's more of like, how do you get blindsided with 2 idols? It wasn't that good. Like, good on them that they got him out, but I think it more fell on, he's an idiot.
He's now eligible to be on a Brains tribe.
Yeah, he's now eligible to be on the Brain tribe.
True. So Susan says in between Matt and Tegan. Me and Jessica said in between Flick and Phoebe. I say that maybe we should compromise and put him right in the middle of where we said in between Matt and Flick.
Just like I said, it's just, what an idiot.
Yeah. He did have some power and control and managed to save him, but he was dumb. Okay. Change the color because we like color coding. Simon. Oops. Too many M's.
Well, 2 idols for 2 M's.
And that's the ranking list. And we see next episode that it is Merge. Whoop, whoop. A Merge of 13.
12, 11.
Normal in US Survivor, not that common in Australian.
What is Merge usually in Australian?
Usually 12.
And a final 3, usually. Well,
no, it's always been a final 2.
So then if it's 12, That means it's an even number jury. Do they always have even juries then?
No, every season has been a final 2 with a 9-person jury.
Oh, so the first person doesn't make jury then.
No, and in the first season's case, the first 2 people did not make jury.
That sucks.
The only time there's ever been 10 jury members was in 2017, but they had the vote off a jury member twist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And then All Stars is weird because they started jury right at merge, so it would have been a 10-person, but then Lee left because of family emergency and wasn't on the jury.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how that would have went. Maybe they were planning for a final 3. So do you think this would be a final 3, or are they going to stick with the final 2 situation?
Personally, I hate a final 3. The third person never gets any vote, and I even hate even more that if it does tie between an even jury, that third person gets the vote, because obviously they're going to vote for who brought them there, who bring them there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a fair vote.
Right. 12 and 13. So then it might be an 11-person jury. Then if it's final 2,
That or yeah.
the first 2 won't make it.
Yeah, it's either the first 2 won't make jury, or they're going to make it a final 3, but hold on, maths. If there's 12 people, or it's going to be a final 3 with still a 9-person jury, and the first person doesn't make it.
Yeah.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, look on. I thought maybe there would be some kind of spoiler or something, but no, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll all find out tomorrow. 2 days. Time zone's confusing.
I'll find out Monday.
Yeah. So
tomorrow's Big Brother Day. Sorry.
Tomorrow's Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Big Brother is like weird. I had to wait till Monday to watch Big Brother. Well, that has been the episodes. What did you two think of these last 3 episodes?
Meh.
I mean, the 2 girls were expected to go. Like, that didn't surprise me. Simon going, not that it surprises me. He should go. It surprises me that he went with 2 Idol.
Right.
Yeah, they were really setting that up.
I was kind of hoping Danny would go, personally, but because it would have been more of a gag. But I don't know if any of you caught it at the end. Danny's like, one of you guys voted for me. So I don't know if Danny thought that George and Cara voted for her and somebody else one of the others voted for her, because she only said, one of you guys put my name down. So I don't know if.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Haley is going to be like, I don't know. I think Baden was trying to like pull a fast one and got told Cara and George to vote for you. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. She'll think of something crafty, I'm sure.
Yeah. We root for you, Haley. Who are you worried for when it comes to the merge?
George. I'm always worried for George.
I'm not. I hope he does good.
I hope he doesn't make jury.
I don't know. I want to say Laura, but that's not it.
Yeah,
Laura's gonna be safe.
Season's had so many surprise vote outs, and is equal as we figured they were being voted out. So I don't know. They all should be worried.
Also, another rarity. We're entering a merge with 8 women and only 5 men.
Yay!
They will not take it to their advantage. I like that the women are loving each other, but they're not going to see it, and they're going to screw this all up. We're going to come back in 2 weeks and be like, hey, wow, so the men outnumber the women.
Yeah, because we've seen, well, at least I think I've seen plenty of merges where it's like there's only 4 women. Like, I think the biggest blunder of this was like Millennials versus Gen X, where every pre-merge boot bar 1 was a woman.
But then I wonder if maybe Cara would be in trouble, because Kez and Emmett and Gerald will say something to the previous Brawn members. I don't know.
I don't know. Cara's got just one of those people that things work out for. So I'm convinced she's going to at least make it to Final 4, because she's just one of those lucky type of people.
Do you think Australian Survivor picked up the fire-making Final 4? Or are they going to stick
Hope
with
not.
regular
I
vote?
really hope not. I don't like that as a twist. I mean, that's the whole purpose. F4 is to try to get them to split their vote at the very least, if not do a 3-1. I mean, the whole, oh, well, the one's not voted for, you automatically go to fire. Because then that's who you're bringing, that third person. You're obviously going to put the two you're worried about the most at fire. Here's your third person, let it tie. And my third person over here is going to give me that jury vote. It's just too flawed.
Yeah. I hated how it was introduced because it definitely looked rigged for Ben to win. It
Not
eventually
that all the idols he found made it look that way.
Yeah, the idol. No, it had nothing to do with the idols. It's just this brand new twist that was never mentioned before.
Yeah.
But I slowly grew to be accepting of it because it started getting rid of filler people, and then I got rid of Devins, which I was like, okay, thank God.
Michael DeLucas, love him.
Oh my God, I love Michael.
And Kyle Reynolds sent a heart. Hello, Kyle.
Oh, I have my screen open full so that way I could see his little chart when he posted. I'm like, okay, who's that name?
I tried to make them. What were we talking about?
What weren't we talking about? We're just talking about how crazy it's going to be the next couple episodes, hopefully. So we still have 2 idols in the game? 2 players have
We still have... We have Haley's... I think it's only Haley's idol. Haley's public idol's the only one left.
Okay.
And we see that Kez will find something.
Kez finds something?
She'll find the idol that Simon left with.
Yeah.
She'll find one of them.
And then I saw a video where it says George must be in the middle because it says he knows all their secrets, but no one knows what King George will do. Blah, blah. So he must be in the middle deciding everything.
Yeah.
I love it, but when they start building people up like that, that makes me nervous because they're like building us up for that big heartbreak.
But I think it hinted at he wants Haley gone before he blows. He said, I need Haley gone before she blows my cover. Whatever that means.
He doesn't have a cover.
He doesn't. It's the buff he wears on his head. That's his cover.
I don't know if you know it was in the like little voting things I do. It's one where like his head's covered and it looks like he's crying. Because I think it was the Cara vote off that I took that from.
Oh yeah.
So it just looks like every time he's crying over voting this person off. It was like, he's crying over Joey. He's crying over Georgia.
Poor George.
I'm worried for the people that have not been getting confessionals. Because, like, once they start getting one confessional, you're like, oh, you're going home. Like, once Chelsea, Andrew, Gerald, once they start getting confessionals, like, oh, you're going home. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I'm hoping that it will be different. I'm hoping for a lot of different things. I don't know what I want this week to be accomplished other than George still being there, but something.
Let's see if the Winora people will, if their predictions are coming true. They're calling Laura Winora because of the Edgic people. That's what they're calling her. Because like she has the winning edits.
Who?
And like Laura. Yeah, there's like, Laura has the winning edit. Go Winora.
No, Laura does not have a winning edit.
I don't think so. Unless I'm missing something in it, I would...
See, I don't know if they're being serious or not. That's another thing.
Yeah, these sites really need a sarcasm font.
Yeah, there needs to be a sarcasm button.
Sarcasm sign.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah. Well... that has been this episode. I better wrap it up now before we start talking about something else for another hour. Thanks, Susan and Jessica, for joining me, for joining us here. Thank you, all the people who are watching, all the commenters. If you want to see more live reality game stuff, subscribe to the channel, join the Facebook group, etc. Join the Survivor Reddit Discord, where we talk all things Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge, other shows. Where can people find you too?
Here on the Live Reality Game Show, everybody will have links. If you just scroll down, there's some everywhere, and they're on Live Reality Games YouTube channel as well. However, I will ask the audience, Australia, I'm not really sure if it's Australia, it's that side of the world, does a celebrity Big Brother called Big Brother VIP.
Yes.
And if anybody can direct me on how to watch that, because I love Omarosa and I will follow her in anything she does in life. I don't know why. So if any of the viewers have an idea where I can catch that at, let me know.
Oh yeah, and Luke is on it too.
Yes,
Luke is
Luke.
also on it. Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know anybody else, like, as far as celebrity wise goes. That's from, again, that side. I'm just a silly, ignorant American, but
See, I'm confused why Americans are allowed to play Australian TV.
because I think it's just celebrity in general. I don't think it's like
There's not that many Australian celebrities.
So if anybody could direct me, but that's going to be something to tune into, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a live reality game recap about it.
Please.
If I can find how to watch it, you will hear me talk about it.
We need more Omarosa. Is that her? Omarosa?
Omarosa? I'm probably screwing it up too. Omarosa?
Pronunciation. She was great on the first.
If she doesn't like it, she can find us and tell us how to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, she can come on the podcast and tell us how to pronounce it.
That's right.
Yeah. Watch us. Omarosa next recap. Well, thanks everyone. See you next time.
Bye.